yeah, I kind of was like, well, how do I, create a business that, I have full control of? How can I create something that, I'm not just helping Amazon build their business? How can I have something that, I get to call my own? And that's when I just started thinking, I was like, well, what do I enjoy doing? Like, what did I enjoy doing even as a kid that maybe I don't do it so much anymore? Like, and these are questions you should be asking yourself. Like, what did I enjoy doing? So I had a lot of fun doing that, right? Because it was something I already liked doing. And guess what? It forced me to go do it.
You're listening to Ecommerce, a Debutify podcast, your resource for one-of-a-kind insights into the world of e-commerce and business in the modern age. This is Joseph. I'll be presenting a wealth of industry knowledge from interviews with successful business people and our own state-of-the-art research. Your time is valuable, so let's go. Peter Prue, known for his award-winning success with ClickFunnels, was eager to share what he knows and what drives him today. In the spirit of openness, we can see firsthand how he implements this with his product as well. We were lucky to have the time today we did, and while he has much more to say than what we could get to, it's a good start, and I expect you to hang on to every word. Peter Prue, it's good to have you here. Welcome to Ecommerce. How you doing today? How you feeling?
I'm good. Thanks for having me on. I'm hoping I can shed as much value and insight of my 12, 13 years of online businesses as possible.
Absolutely. So overall, the way our shows tend to work is that we use this time with you to get a full scope of who you are, what you do, which I'm about to ask you, so that our listeners can get a condensed view of it. And then they have all the time in the world to check out your YouTube channel and check in on your other content as well and really see what there is. So that's how we do it here. It's a lot of fun, and let's fire this up with that very question that I alluded to: is who are you and what do you do?
So my name is Peter Prue. I right now own two companies publicly, right? Untapped Focus, which is a supplement designed for entrepreneurs, as well as Ecommerce Empire Builders, which offers programs and services for e-commerce business owners. I also own, on the side, affiliate marketing businesses, real estate businesses, but really my two main focuses are Untapped Focus, which is our supplement, and then our Ecommerce Empire Builders.
Okay, so I'm only going to ask this just a little tiny bit because real estate does somewhat pique my interest. So, like, what exactly, when you say real estate, are you just buying condos, or like when did that start fitting into the picture?
So I could go down the rabbit hole. So I kind of have it in my blood, just because when my parents came here from Poland, when they were like 16, 17 years old, they couldn't get jobs anywhere. They didn't speak any English like at all. So they kind of were forced to become entrepreneurs. Or for us, their kids, me and my two sisters. And, they tried going, they couldn't get a job. So basically they found opportunity in real estate. They never really taught me much until later on in life about real estate when I just started getting interested in it. So, for me, I just, own, single family homes, townhomes, and looking to get into more bigger deals of multifamily, 16 plus unit apartment buildings.
Yeah, there's a great point there that you just brought up about, being forced into entrepreneurship. And what I find talking to people, and even from my own experience, people that I know in my own life experience, is that entrepreneurship is that calling. It's people are put into a position where they have to become innovators, become pioneers. I don't know anybody personally who just decides to like abandon their comfort and then all of a sudden something has to be pushing back against them,
That's like the interesting part, because like when I look over, the past like 12, 13 years, even like when I first went into college, like my parents, the whole thing was always like, everybody, especially from Europe, wanted to come to America because it was the American dream, right? White picket fence, like all this, like that was the dream, right? And that's what they wanted for their kids. They didn't want them to struggle like they did. They didn't want to do all that stuff, right? Like they didn't want us to go through that. And to them, it was always, okay, go to college, get a good job, get married, have kids, live in a nice neighborhood. Like that was the thing. There's nothing wrong with that. Like I have nothing against that at all, right? That's my sisters do that, right? They're not business people, or actually my own sisters, but like my other sisters, like you know what I mean. So everybody's on their own path. Like I'm never going to be a person who's like, oh, quit your 9 to 5. No, most people should be there. Most people should be at a 9 to 5. Most people aren't cut out for the stress that comes along with entrepreneurship or scaling businesses at all. That's why I recommend everybody just start a side hustle. Right, make yourself an extra $500 a month, even $100 a month, right? At least you have a little side hustle that's making you some extra money, and then you can decide if it's something you want to do full time. But yeah, I was kind of like, for me, it wasn't. I wouldn't necessarily say it's forced, and it's like cliche to say that. Like, it was mainly like I just wanted to wake up in the mornings and like because at Cena there are positives at 9 to 5, right? You clock out and you just
Mhm.
don't have to worry about all the stress and employees and like all the nonsense that goes along with running a business. But like I wanted to like my big thing was I just want to wake up in the morning. It wasn't even the money. It was just like I want to wake up in the morning and like be responsible for myself, right? And that was the thing, right? Because a lot of people are like, oh, the 9 to 5, it's so safe. But like, is it like? Are you betting? Because like, think about it. When you're on your own, you're betting on yourself, right? And I'm always going to bet on
Right.
myself over somebody else. But yeah, I mean, for me, that was like my big driving factor. Is like, why don't I build something that I can have full control of, kind of like and of course, there's some amazing benefits that come along with running your own businesses that get opened up to you. So that's kind of it.
Yeah, and you know what? You make a good point that maybe forced is, well, too forceful of a term. So perhaps compelled. I will say some people, they really are put into that position and they don't have any other option. But I think a lot of people are compelled. They're driven. They're motivated to it. And then I also wanted to touch on another point you just brought up.
That, like, I didn't have to do it, right? Like my
Yeah,
parents were forced, like they didn't have a choice.
yeah.
They had to be an entrepreneur. And in me, it was like, okay, I made that decision, but just because I was like, oh, I don't want to be in like a cubicle doing the same thing day in and day out. So
Exactly. Great. So let's get into some of the great value that you provide, and we certainly can keep going on this route, and maybe someday down the line we will, because it's fun and it's great to talk about. But we got people who are hungry for value, so let's give it to them. I took your online quiz, and what I did was I completely BS'd it. I was trying to get like the top result, just to essentially see like, okay, what would happen if somebody was already has a lot of momentum going for them, and what exactly you would be able to offer to them. Um, and then conversely, I also tried to be a little bit more truthful and just answer all of the questions as like low as I can. Zero money, zero experience. I need help putting on my own pants. Like how low I could possibly go. Um, and you had an answer for both of them. You had some free content, right? Get people onto the YouTube channel, sign up for some of the courses. But what I found more interesting out of the two was the maximum answer, which is the 2 comma club answer. So um, I don't think I've talked to anybody about this. I figured out like 10 minutes later what 2 comma is, because it's the comma is next to the amount of money that you are awarded, or not awarded, but you're awarded for making. So, what happens to people who sign up and they already have a lot of momentum going for them?
so you mean like as far as like somebody that already has an e-commerce business that has momentum?
Yeah, they filled out all the max answers on the quiz.
Um, so sorry, I'm kind of not following that. I apologize.
Okay,
My,
no problem.
but like, so what do you mean? Like as
So,
far as
so let's say hypothetically that I'm someone who went through the quiz and I answered all the questions at max, so I have the highest amount of business going into it, and then you offer the 2 comma answer. So that's what I
yeah,
want to know more about.
yeah. So we offer a lot of different kinds of services and things like that because there is at the end of the day it's tough because when business is going really well, right? And this is something like a deeper answer. Like a lot of people, when business is going well, like you're not innovating, right? People think that they will innovate when everything is going well, but you're not. You're usually going to innovate when you're in some sort of pain with your business, whether that's I'm not making the profits that I saw, I can't pay myself as much, right? Like that's when you kind of go through this thing. So one of the things that we found is a lot of e-commerce business owners that say they're doing well aren't actually doing as well as they should be. Meaning, right, at the end of the day, right, what's the profits, or what's the profits of the business? So our big thing, 2 comma club is like something ClickFunnels came out that's like the awards right there that they give out. We earn $1 million. We have our own award system too. Those crystals back there. But our big thing is a lot of people in e-commerce specifically don't understand direct response marketing. They don't understand what like a sales funnel is and like
Hmm.
how it benefits. So that's like the first thing, right? Like if we look at somebody that's already doing well, right? And again, they're doing well. When most people are doing well, it's like an uphill battle trying to tell them, well, you need a funnel because they're already doing well. They're not trying to innovate, right? They don't. It's a harder sell, right? But most people that do want to innovate, you kind of have to show them, right? So that's where kind of like our funnels come in. So we have sales funnels specifically for e-commerce businesses, and then if you already are somebody that's using a sales funnel for your e-commerce business, how do you optimize that even further? And then we also have something called like a back end email system that we kind of like developed, leveraging like the power of kind of like email marketing, right? So meaning, automations for non-buyers, automations for your existing buyers, daily emails that get sent out to your list, right? A lot of people don't realize that, but like if you have an email list, you're collecting emails and they're not regularly being followed up with, like non-buyers, buyers, right? That's free money. That is the closest thing to free money that you're going to get. And if you're not using that, that's key. So the first thing, like if somebody's already doing well, let's say they're doing 10 grand a month or whatever it is in their business, right? First, and if you're using Shopify or something like that, right, making sure you have some sort of funnel first, right?
Mm-hmm.
So a funnel is designed to capture leads, email addresses, and then try and get them to make that first purchase, upsell opportunity, subscription opportunity to get those rebills in your business. But then, like, what does that look like? What does that look like for the people that opted in? What does that look like for the people that purchase? Right? They all need to have their own journeys mapped out, right? And that's where a lot of people struggle. They don't have these kind of journeys mapped out. They just throw Shopify stores out there, product page. Okay, I'm making, I spent $20 to acquire a customer. That for $40 I made $5. Like, and they keep thinking that, oh, if I just keep getting more buyers, I'll make more money. When in fact, the reality is, like, you can optimize what you have a lot better and be able to spend more money on advertising. Somebody I consider a mentor of mine, Dan Kennedy, he said it beautifully, right? He who can spend the most to acquire a customer wins, right? Like at the end of the day, like think about it. Imagine, like this is what I spend most of my day doing, right? Like there's two things I spend most of my day doing: thinking, how can I spend more money than my competition? How can I spend, on let's say a $20 product for somebody to buy? How can I spend, $200 and still be profitable? Right? Like think about if you 10x or 2x your customer acquisition costs. Let's say right now you're breaking even at $20 your Facebook ad, $20, and you can't make any more money after that. Right? Like what if you actually could spend 40 and your business was profitable? Like that's a game changer, right? And like that's what I'm spending most of my time doing. I'm always thinking like next level, next level. And that's what most business owners should be thinking about. Not like, oh, what's the next, viral product that I can sell? Right? Yeah, I can make you a little bit of money. But dude, look at any business book. They tell you, right? They tell you that you don't make money on first time sales. Most businesses don't make money on first time sales. So if you are somebody that's profitable on your first time sale and you're not exploiting that to every advantage that you possibly have, right, you are leaving so much money on the table. And then especially if you build all these things that we're talking about, the funnels, the back end email automation, monthly subscription offerings, that's the game changer. Right. So, and then the second thing I spend most of my time doing is thinking about what are my customers spending their money on, and why aren't I selling that to them, or why am I not getting a cut of that money, right? Because these little things start unlocking more income streams in your business, and you want as many as possible, right? So, like I look at all of my businesses, and I'm saying, how can they complement each other, right? That's why I always say, like, have be it in as many business models as you can be, right? Anybody listen to this that has an e-commerce business, there's no reason you shouldn't be doing affiliate marketing. There's no reason you shouldn't be selling a course or digital products to your customers, right? Like all of these things you have the opportunity to do, right? You just have to do the research, hire somebody to create the content for you or whatever it is, right? Do it yourself. But those are my favorite business models because they all so complementary and they all help somebody that already is making money make more money, right? Digital products, e-commerce, physical products, and affiliate marketing.
That's a lot to take in. And as you're talking, I took down a few points. But what I actually want to do is jump ahead to something that I wanted to ask you about the digital project labeling, where and this is something that I didn't know about. Oh, sorry, it's called a PRL. I didn't know about this until I was researching you, and I think this is something incredible that people have got to know about. I think there's a lot of reluctance to want to make digital product because that's an investment of time, but they don't have to do that. There actually is like almost like a drop shipping equivalent to it. So can you fill us in on PRL?
Yeah, I mean, I've been talking about PRL. I mean, just so everybody knows, like I feel like the internet marketing whole world it goes through cycles where people think things are new, but they're not. PLRs have existed like before Shopify even was a business. Like before literally, PLRs have existed for a long time. Basically, you can go to, my favorite. I have no affiliation with this company at all. I totally should get paid by these people for how much I met with them. It's called the PLRstore.com. I personally think that's the best place to buy PLRs. Again, somebody watching could think somewhere else. Again, I don't know these guys at all. I just give them a lot of money because I buy a lot of these things. So there, you can go on the PLR store and you can, let's say you sell camping stuff, right? You could type in camping, right? And then you search and it'll give you, maybe not hundreds. Some niches you'll get hundreds of PLRs, but other ones you might have 3-4 different kinds of PLR packs there. Now these PLR packs, they cost a couple bucks, $3-4 at most. And then when you download them, they basically send you a text file with a ton of articles and ebooks already written.
Mm-hmm.
So you might buy a camping one that costs you $5.99. Inside there will be, 10 different articles about different topics around camping. And here's the thing with these PLRs, most of them will come as text documents, right? They'll just come as plain Jane text documents. Some of them might be repackaged and look a little bit nicer, but most of them will just look very plain, boring text documents. Then what you can do is either go to Fiverr, Upwork, whatever, give somebody's text on and be like, make it look pretty, right? Or the easiest thing you can possibly do is just go to Google Slides, right? Choose a theme on Google Slides with a color, and just take the best pieces and make like a just put it and package it nicely. Here's the thing about digital products a lot of people on e-commerce dropshipping don't understand is it's the same, like marketing is the same, but the packaging has to be premium on these digital products because it can't, again, it's all perceived, right? It's all perceived value, right? All the information is out there. So when you sell digital products, it's all about a feeling, right? So look, you can get that text file and send it to your customers as a plain text file, and they'll be like, the hell? It's just a wall of text. Like, what the hell? Like, what am I supposed to do with this? Or you take that same information, package it into a nice, 10-page ebook that you make, or get somebody to make for you, and it's a whole different feeling, right? It's a completely different feeling. Picture yourself getting a text document like, whoa, what is this crap? I don't want this, right? Versus, a nice PDF guide that just shows you everything very nicely. And in this PDF guide, you can promote your products, right? You can promote affiliate products. You can push them out to your website. So very beneficial, right? I love PLRs because these are ways that you can differentiate yourself from a lot of people. Right? Like, let's say you sell, e-commerce products right now, you're selling like posture correctors or whatever, right? I'm always thinking like, how can you and especially with any clients we work with, I'm like, well, why should they buy from you instead of going to Amazon or a competitor, right? You have to answer that in your favor, right? And the easiest way to do that is just bundle more stuff, right? That is valuable to your niche in your main offer. So you're selling posture correctors. Maybe there's like some video course that you can get somebody to help you make. You can get some ebooks that get designed from your PLRs and bundle them in, give them for free, right, with your main offer, right? Because then at least you have some differentiating factor to kind of like work off of, right? Because you're always looking you have to give them a reason to buy from you. Otherwise, like, again, those customers are just going to get scooped up by Amazon,
Yeah, I mean, I decided to order a TV for myself for Black Friday, new apartment. We don't have one yet. And I had to force myself not to shop on Amazon. I buy things on Amazon, but I said I gotta support somebody else once in a while. Like I was so compelled by it. But I'm an exception in this case because I have a heightened understanding of the inner workings of it with all the people that I talk to. The other thing I want to touch on too is the difference between the plain text document versus having it into a high quality with the visuals. And is the audio a factor? Can people implement audio in this, or is it just like?
The only reason I say is because I feel like e-commerce attracts a lot of people that have never run a business before because it's so easy to get started with dropshipping. I mean, anybody can start. You don't even need money. You literally can start for $0 and just get a trial to Shopify or ClickFunnels or whatever, and you could be in business. And there's been no better time ever to start. But with that, right, comes a lot of these things that people don't expect. So audio, love it. Video, love it. But here's the thing. You need to know what you're talking about. Right. So either you go educate yourself, go pick up some books, go watch a whole bunch of YouTube videos so you can make an educational, talk educated about it. And this comes down to I have these 4 pillars I kind of, coined at the Ecommerce Empire Builders. And the first pillar to any business, it's not just e-commerce, is the niche, right? Like how, people are out there searching on YouTube, what are the best winning viral products for November, December, right? That's crazy. You're going on a YouTube, and I know this because we release content like this all the time. It gets the most views, it gets the most engagement. But seriously, think about that, right? When you look at a company, a real company, what do they have? Do they have product research departments or do they have market research departments? No, they have market research departments. They have market research that's happening, right? So they can see what's the pulse on the market. What are these people buying? What are they doing that? And then they develop it. They have a product development, which then takes all the problems that they've gathered and can create now something that is unique in the marketplace that solves people's problems. So, like back, make a long question. I told you I was going to do this. Long-winded answers here, but when you do like an audio or something like that, I I would love for you to do that, 100%. If you, but you got to go into a niche that you actually could talk about or you enjoy. And that's why my biggest thing is start a business around something you enjoy. It doesn't have to be something you're crazy passionate about, but like, holy hell, like I can't even imagine start waking up every morning to like sell like makeup brushes and stuff. Like everybody wants to be rich and make a whole bunch of money, and like, but they need to learn it by themselves that that's not going to actually make you happy, because you will be, I promise you, you will be miserable with the money, and you have to wake up every morning, write emails to people you have no idea about. You have to sell products you know nothing about. You don't enjoy. Like I'm telling you, everybody wants to find that out the hard way, though. I did too. Everybody, it's like it's going to go in one ear, out the other for pretty much everybody. Me saying this, but like I want you to have fun, right? And a lot of people don't have enough fun like building their businesses. Especially, you have to have a lot of fun in the beginning, because that's where most people fail, at that starting point. And there's going to be a lot of roadblocks. There's a lot of stuff you have to learn. You got to consume a lot of content, implement a lot of stuff. So it's a lot of stuff that you can call it quits, which is why a lot of people fail at it in those early stages. So being at least kind of involved in what you like will kind of like help you not quit.
One thing I want to touch on there is that from my own freelancing in the last 7-8 years, it took time for there to be any money involved. But it wasn't like you're saying, it wasn't just about the money, and I don't want it to come across like some sappy Hallmark card term of, oh, it's just self-fulfilling. It is, but there are other tangible ways that you can enrich yourself. I made connections with people. Connections can lead to other connections, which can lead to job opportunities, if I were to so ask. Some people, they would treat me to dinner, which meant for a great experience. And there's all these great, unique experiences that I would have that over time made me into a more competent and maybe better at my job too while I'm at it. So money is one resource that you can earn, but you can earn other resources too that all increase your value.
No, yeah, absolutely. And like, it's like I said, at the end of the day, it's important in the beginning. And this is again going to be another thing that it's like a controversial subject, is like, it's hard to start a business, if you don't have resources, right? And like, because like, again, like back to like the 9 to 5 thing, like people will be like, oh, go all in on your business, quit your 9 to 5, like, and all this stuff. But it's difficult, right? Because if you're super stressed out about money and making money, like people ask me that, like, well, what's the difference between people that go and make 10 grand, their first few months first don't? Man, I'm telling you, it's like the people aren't super stressed about it. I swear, it's like, dude, if you are super stressed about it, right? I feel like it's a magnet. It just kind of like repels further from you for some reason, right? It's like the more you want something, the kind of the further away it gets. So, that's why I suggest like always get into something that you can enjoy, something you can get behind, something you can have fun doing.
Yeah, and then just from some of the content that I viewed, that one degree of separation, and it's not much of one, but it is there, is looking into something that you can see yourself being interested in. Maybe not something that you are necessarily already passionate about, but you think, oh yeah, okay, I can see myself getting into this. Can you think of anything in particular where like you had that decision where you said, oh yeah, okay, this works, this could work for me?
No, yeah, I mean, our first 7-figure business was my fishing business, and that whole thing started was after I lost my Amazon business. That I was just selling random ass products from around the house. Like I wasn't even like selling like anything I cared about whatsoever. It was like sports and outdoor gear, fitness gear, like a whole bunch of stuff. And I just didn't enjoy it, right? And I can go off on Amazon all day long, but yeah, I kind of was like, well, how do I, create a business that, I have full control of? How can I create something that, I'm not just helping Amazon build their business? How can I have something that, I get to, call my own? And that's when I just started thinking. I was like, well, what do I enjoy doing? Right? Like, what did I enjoy doing even as a kid that maybe I don't do it so much anymore? Like, and these are questions you should be asking yourself. Like, what did I enjoy doing? Do I have any hobbies? Do I have any of this? And that's when I was like, okay, well, I love fishing, and I enjoyed it. I loved building that business. I had a lot of fun doing that, right? Because I was something I already liked doing. And guess what? It forced me to go do it more, right? So something where I now could be like, hey, you know, me going fishing is actually working, right? Same thing for you, right? So that's like, people ask me, what's the best niches? What are the best niches? I personally believe, and I always strongly recommend people, some sort of hobby, right? Some sort of hobby, because the hobbies are evergreen. Most of them, for the most part, have pretty much been around for hundreds of years, right? Hobbies, and they're not going anywhere. Like a lot of these, they're not going anywhere. They're always getting into them. So that's why I usually strongly suggest, if you don't have any hobbies, literally just go to Wikipedia, type in a list of hobbies, and there are so many there to choose from. Literally pick anything. Don't even like you don't have to like waste 3 weeks trying to figure it out. Just pick something, get started, and kind of go from there.
Mhm. You warned me that you would sink into these things. It's a shame we've only got you for so long, really. All right, so let me go through some of the stuff that I wanted to bring up. I consider myself at this point somewhat of a bulwark between what people know and don't know, having conducted so many interviews so far. And although I don't say it as often as I should, I do encourage my listeners to go through this in chronological order. I think it's more helpful for my listeners that way. So guys, consider that, but do what you got to do. But you brought up a direct response earlier, and this one has not crossed my radar. So can you just touch on this briefly, like what direct response is and how it's implemented?
So, like, this is something I personally learned. Direct response marketing has been around pretty much for also since the beginning of marketing. Um, Dan Kennedy is who kind of I really lean towards. That's really I learned from a lot of people, but like at the end of the day, like I mainly learned from him, right? Books, his courses, all that stuff. But basically, when you market something, like if you go and look at like a TV commercial, Coca-Cola and things like that, right? What are they doing, right? A lot of people think, oh, I'm just advertising just to stay top of mind. I'm here, but they're not, right? They're not doing that, right? Yes, they can just throw advertising budgets out there and they don't necessarily see a direct return. So what they're doing is, of course, to always stay on top of mind. But what they're doing is like they're competing for words, right? They're competing for words. They're competing for, like when you say soda, right? Like you say the word soda, right? What's the first word that most people think of, right? They probably, and this is how they can judge, like, well, what's top of mind for people, right? So most people will say Coca-Cola. Maybe some people will say, Pepsi, whatever, like all those things. But probably Coca-Cola would be the winner, right? So that's why they have to continue to throw money out there without seeing any immediate return on it. And you could see this, like if I say laundry detergent, right? Who's can be tied, right? I would
Yeah, it was tied. It was tied.
pretty much every single person, and that's why those kind of companies advertise like that, because they are on such a mass scale that they have such their budgets are insane, right? Because they're competing for a word, right? And if you can win a category for a word, right? Like your business will be, around forever. Like that's when you look at Coca-Cola, Tide, and there's words like this, everywhere, right? That are out there that people are competing on. And but us, like people like that are starting a business, bootstrapping businesses, or even like a seven-figure business, like you need to be able to put $1 in and see, well, how much is that dollar going to go? You're putting this money to work, right? And that's where direct response comes in. It allows you to advertise and measure, right, your marketing efforts a lot better by creating assets for your business, creating buyers for your business, building your list, right? So like in e-commerce, right, direct response, right, I would say most e-commerce business owners aren't direct response marketing, because all they do is they are basically competing just on a product, right? They're just like, oh, here is my product catalog. Come and find and pick something, right? Direct response marketing is much more not product focused, but problem focused, problem solution focused, showing customers, well, here, hey, do you have this problem, X, Y, Z, whatever? Here's how to fix it. And this is why e-commerce owners, they need to do this, because you gotta focus on the problems that your product solves, right? And not just giving people a ton of broad things that your product can do. So, for example, like if you're selling fishing lures, right? Like what's the real result people want, right? Catch more fish, bigger fish, whatever it might be, right? So that's how you want to market it, right? And then as you're marketing this one thing, you want to just tell them, hey, what's the best one thing? Oh, this fishing lure, like this is the one that's going to get you this result, all this stuff, right, that you want, right? You want to catch more fish, you want to get more likes on your Instagram when you share it, right? This is the one, not a catalog of all of these different ones, right? Because people all want to be told what's the best, right? Go look at restaurants, right? What does every restaurant do? It's 80-20 rule. right? They highlight bestseller, bestseller, or like a star, customer favorite, customer favorite. 80% of that restaurant sales come from those handful of products and the thousands of them out there, right? Same exact thing that you want to be doing in your business. Yes, you want your customers to have options. That's what Shopify is for. But customers, right? People that have given you money already, give them a place to go browse around and buy more stuff, right? But when you're direct response marketing, right? Those are people that haven't heard from you before. They don't like you, trust you, anything. They have no idea of your existence, right? So when you market to these people, you can't just send them to a store that you would send customers to who already know, like, and trust you, and they can browse around and buy whatever they want. With cold traffic, you need to be able to, capture their attention, right? Agitating their problem, showing what their problem is, and then showing, hey, this is the product that creates the solution for you, right? And you do that by, using a sales funnel, right? A sales funnel is set up properly where it's like, hey, it's an email capture page, landing page, right? Leading to actually getting them to buy right away. And then, really, getting them to spend more money with your upsells and your lifetime value with your monthly subscription.
One quick thing about funnels is that if it's possible to split test funnels, because I would imagine you would need two different domains, or I'm not really sure how it works. Is it possible to split test?
Like ecommerceempirebuilders.com, right? One funnel can go to slash, funnel one, slash funnel two, slash funnel three, whatever, product name, whatever.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, I was just wondering if you would have to just rely on like the main part of the domain, but that checks out. Yeah, your proficiency with ClickFunnels cannot be understated. And I think once people get a visual for you, they'll see what I mean.
Well, I think it comes with, and this is like something else. It comes with like mastery, right? And I'm not tooting our own horn, but like tooting our own horn here, but like our entire team here, all they do every single day is e-commerce. That's what we talk about all day. That's what we do all day because we love it. That's what we do, and that's what you have to do for whatever it is that your niche is, right? You have to be obsessed with the market. At the end of the day, it's one thing to be passionate about the niche, but we all know people that have been passionate about this niche, but they don't know how to market it, right? So the funnels and all that, the marketing, right? Those are the mechanisms. That is where you need to be good at that, and then also good at whatever it is that you're selling to.
One of the things I wanted to ask you about, because I read your Forbes article, is that your development process for funnels was also intense, to say the least. You went through over 50 different variations of it until you found one that was converting. Do you mind expanding on this process for us? Like how, like your testing process and what you found was working, what wasn't?
I was in a mastermind. This was probably 6 years ago. And it was all just like Amazon sellers. And at that time, a company came and was doing a demo to our mastermind. There was like probably 15 of us in there with this call. And it was ClickFunnels. They were just coming out. They were just going around showing demos and getting people to sign up initially for their account. And that's where I first learned about, direct response marketing and how these kind of funnels work and operate for a business owner, right? And at that time, I wasn't really running like any kind of of my businesses, or I was running my Amazon business. I was kind of dabbling in a few different kinds of niches, but that's where I started just like finding random products and putting them into these funnels and trying to make them work. And I was like, well, what's wrong with this? Like, why can't I make this work? Like I was selling like weird ass. What were they? They were like the soccer mom stickers where they put them on their minivans. Yep. And like it's like kids. And like I'm selling like that because I don't know anything about that stuff. And that's when I started kind of getting into like, well, what if I do something I actually enjoy, and then make a long story short from there. But that's where I was just trying every single product, spending a whole bunch of money, just not even on advertising, just like education, because it was so foreign to me. Right, it was such a foreign topic to me, and it's interesting because probably like 9 years ago, right, when I was really in my Amazon business, I was reading these direct response marketing books. I was reading Dan Kennedy already. I was reading all these, right, but it didn't click for me. It's weird. Like I will still look at some of those books that I had from Dan Kennedy. I was like, how did I read this back? How did I didn't do it. I didn't understand it at all. Right, but it wasn't until I really was like, okay, here's how funnel works. They made it so easy. Obviously, ClickFunnels back 9 years ago, making a funnel was very difficult. That's why I couldn't wrap my head around it properly. But it's just interesting. It's interesting to look back. Like I was studying direct response marketing, but I wasn't like actually implementing it or really understood it. And like I said, I think a majority of my funnel failures I'm just trying to sell like random products. It's like random products that I didn't really understand the target market
Yeah, I think too that there's a sinking in process where things do take time and they have to be integrated into the brain. There needs to be application for it. So that checks out. There's still stuff from college that I to this day. Oh my god, now I understand. So yeah, it happens. The other part of the funnel that I wanted to ask you about, and this is more granular, it's regarding the idea that a funnel can have too many steps, and so traffic that is warm when it gets there ends up cooling off by the time that they've reached the checkout. So people can just get the full scope of it on the video, but can you give us a
Yeah.
rundown of it here?
So, for example, with the Shopify store, most Shopify stores, it takes about 7 clicks before somebody buys from you, right? And that's a funnel, right? Like it's not a good funnel, but that's a funnel, right? They have to click the ad, they have to, click add to cart, they have to then click on the cart page, then they have to click, proceed to checkout or whatever that thing is. Then they have to enter their shipping address, then they're billing it to. So it's always like 6 or 7 clicks before they click the complete order button. With a funnel, and that's a funnel, right? Because a funnel it's like a funnel, right? Like 1,000 people come in, and then like 2 or 3 come out, or whatever it is, right at the bottom. And with the way we set up our funnels, like within 2 clicks, you already get money, right? So Facebook ad, landing page with a 2-step order form. They fill that out, click, and then they have they can put in their billing, right? Now, that's a short funnel, right? That's a very short funnel right there, and that's why you'll see conversion rates typically on a funnel, order form conversion rate 10%, right? And then compared to a Shopify store, typically on average, and somebody will be like, I have a 10%, but again, for the most part, most people have around 1% conversion rate, max 2%. Yeah, I've seen people have a very high conversion rate, but for the most part, between 1-2% is what an average Shopify conversion.
I'm gonna shift gears, not too drastically, but somewhat drastically here, because this is one that I wanted to make sure that I asked you about. One of your videos is you talk about your fishing lure. It's what you did was you combined 2 different products together. There's the frog, which is the lure. I don't know if it's plastic. I'm not sure what material it is. And then there's a spinner piece, which I guess is also like it's attractive to fish. Yeah. And what you did was you contacted your supplier to try to combine these two. Now, I suppose there's limitations to like how much craftsman, like how much originality, like how much products can be manufactured from that side. But I didn't think there was any. I thought that suppliers, they have their product and either you sell it or you don't, or you find somebody else that has it. So how did you, can you go through that for us? Like how you actually to kind of make the product yourself?
Yeah, most people that do like AliExpress, yeah, you're not going to be able to change it around, right? AliExpress is just step one of a very, very big pot. So AliExpress, obviously, products are kind of the way they are. You can't really do much about it, right? But after you find some winners and you're making money, you shouldn't be dropping from AliExpress anymore, right? Like you should be moving into your fulfillment centers at that point. Okay, that's where you can take back control and make product development. So usually you can find these suppliers on Alibaba. Obviously, I had a good relationship with my supplier already at that point that I used. So, to me, I already knew that product was selling well because I saw somebody had something similar that really popped off. And again, I kept a pulse on the market. I was in all the Facebook groups, following all the influencers. And this product, you could not buy it anywhere, literally anywhere. It was not available to buy, right? But and people were paying way premiums for it too at the time. It's still a good selling product, but it's just not as crazy. I basically took a picture of it. I showed my supplier, right? Most of these things are made in China to begin with. They're like, yeah, I can make that, right? Now you can easily drop ship this product because it's basically like, yeah, you can even find it on AliExpress now. It's available to drop ship. But back then, product molding can be expensive, right? If you have a lot of changes, right? But the thing is, like a lot of these suppliers are equipped to do that. If you're working with a supplier that like only works with fishing lures, only works with this, like they can do these kind of things for you. That's why I encourage like get your kind of like business up and running, because then you can make all these changes that you need. Maybe there's always this one complaint about this one product of yours that people just want changed, right? And if you maybe can't do that right away when you're doing AliExpress, but when you make like an inventory purchase, you can make those changes, right? On the product. Now that's where you can really start creating good customer loyalty and really even further differentiate yourself from your competition and Amazon.
So the one part of that I just wanted to make sure I heard right. So basically, you had created this because there was very, very, very little availability. People had to pay an arm and a leg for it, but then it
sold out everywhere from all those, Bass Pro Shops, Cabela's. Like, you couldn't get this.
But maybe not entirely, but largely due to your actions, now it's all over, and now other people have made YouTube videos about that being the winning product, and now they're trying to.
Yeah, I mean that product, it like I said, that was we made a lot of money with that product back then. Right? I made, well over six figures just on that one product alone. But yeah, it's like anything, like at least in that niche fishing, like once one guy makes it and like all the other people start seeing that it's selling well, like everybody starts slapping their brand on it, and there's the product.
Right.
It might not be like niches like that, but what fishing is.
And it's also important too, and guys, this is a really key takeaway, is how invested Peter is in the community as well. Listen to what he's saying. He's following the influencers. He's part of the Facebook communities. He enjoys it too. It is a way to take a part of yourself and enhance that and share that with other people and builds a greater net for others. So that's an important point. I just want to say it again because it needs to be hammered home. Now, we don't have you for very much longer. So at the risk of like opening up a huge can of worms and doing something that can take 10, 15 minutes, here's what I want to ask you about, because I'm a bit of like a supplement guy. I like supplements. I have a sleep pill. I've been ordering the same one for like the last 2 years. And so far it scores like 99 successes. One time it didn't work, but I had 3 slices of pizza before bed. So it was totally my fault. Anyways, can you tell me about your, sorry, I spaced the name.
Untapped. So you can learn about
Untapped, right? Untapped. Okay.
You go to so I basically developed a product called Untapped Focus. Now you can go get all the nutrition labels and all that stuff. My big thing was a few years ago I was just taking pre-workouts. I was mixing different kinds of supplements into one, and look, I just have this business mindset all the time where I'm like, what? And I always think about it. I don't know why, but I'm like, why am I buying this from somebody else? Why don't I just make my own? That's what I did, right? So I basically had these 3 supplements I love taking. There was a mixture of nootropics and like pre-workouts. I worked with a local supplier, right? They had like the mad scientists and all the stuff, the regulations that you have to get through, and they were able to look at these 3 supplements, take all the key kind of like ingredients out of it. You can find all the ingredients, all the science behind them on untappedfocus.com if you want to, and develop me a product. And it wasn't like that's not as easy as I'm making it seem. By the way, it took like over a year just to develop. But they were able to create me a product that basically was, a 3-in-1 solution to all the products that I have, right? So that's kind of like where that came from.
Yeah, and then one thing I'm learning about it, because I'm not going to lie, there's a part of me that wants to try it out for myself. But one of the things that always put me off with these with the powders is that I feel like as effective as it is, I'm going to like burn through it in the course of a week. And then, now I'm hooked. Now I'm going to be ordering these things pretty frequently. So how would you rate the density of it compared to other ones? Like how much scoops get you going?
Yeah, so that's what I always prefer powder just because you can regulate how much you actually take. There is a little bit of caffeine in ours. It's not like pumped with like tons of caffeine like others are. But I personally prefer that just because you can regulate. You can, if you want to do 2 scoops, you want whatever it is. I personally take it, and I've been taking it for the past, year and a half now for every single morning. Every single morning. There has not been a morning that I haven't taken every single day. And again, it comes from that place where it's like, I wanted to start a business where I don't care if it fails. I don't care because I've created something that I want. And when you do that, right, your marketing is better. It just works better because you're not chasing like, I need this to work, right? Create stuff that you actually yourself use and are proud of.
Fantastic. Yeah, and one other thing that I'll mention too is if you want to see a funnel in action, you will see Peter's insight into how funnels can be effective with the Untapped product. So that'd be a good way to study up on how funnels can be effective. All right, so we're down to like the last couple of minutes here, and then I got to let you go. So this one, I think this is a good one to end off on. From your Instagram, this is not the whole quote, but enough to get my question. Building a business can be extremely fulfilling. You'll discover strengths that you never knew you had, and also overcome obstacles you never thought you'd face. So the question I pose to you is, what strengths did you discover throughout this?
Oh man, I look at it over, again, like 12, 13 years now. Like the mindset shift that happened from just trying to make some money from affiliate marketing to now running a business that has like 30 plus people, right? Because like, when I was first starting, it was like fun, right? But like eventually that fun is going to turn into something bigger than you if you stick with it long enough, which is kind of like where we're at right now. And like for me, like big thing, I say that I've been saying this for a long time. It's like, I will never fail, right? It's impossible for me to fail. It's impossible for my team to fail because, we hit this one thing and that most people won't, and that is showing up every single day, right? Like whether I'm tired, I'm sick, I'm having a bad day, I will show up every single day because I no longer do it for myself, right? Like it's not like I need that extra $1,000 a month. Like I truly don't, like at all. It's not 100%, but I'm doing this for other people now, right? I got 30 people that rely on me. If I decide to, oh, I'm sick today, I don't feel like it, I'm having a bad day, like I'm not just impacting myself anymore, right? I can call it quits right now, probably live the rest of my life pretty comfortably. But I'm not doing that, right? Because again, I come from that place of entrepreneurship, right? Like you're going to come to a decision one day. And that's why I say, like, dealing with the stress of entrepreneurship, most people aren't cut out for it, right? That's why I say just do it as a side hustle, and then you can decide because it will snowball if you put enough effort into it. It will grow faster than you expect, and then you will have to hire other people, and then your responsibilities shift, right? It's now more so than just you and your family, right? You've got people, other people's family. You're trusting other people, right? And that's where my mindset has shifted totally, right? I came from the place of, researching and doing, like, I don't, like, my day isn't filled with doing. Like, I'm not doing a lot of stuff every day. Like, I'm making like decisions every single day, right? Like, that's what, and again, it's like you change, right? You change. Like in the beginning, you're doing everything by yourself, and then you're going into this place where you have to like rely on other people, trust other people, with what you've created, right? And that's been for me. That's been like the biggest mindset.
People are depending on you, not just for work, but also because they depend on what you make and what you give them. Oh, that's amazing. Actually, one other thing that I just want you to touch on, very tiny, because I know you're part of the Dropshipping Council, and if I don't ask you this, then I don't get to complete the set. So, how did you get involved in the council? And then I'll let you go.
So I was invited to it. It's just that easy. I was invited to it. I think as a founding member, originally, and you guys can learn more by I think it's dropshippingcouncil.com or dropshipping council, one of the two. You have to be making $100,000 a month. I don't know if that restriction is necessarily still there or not. Maybe again, I personally liked it because we were able to meet up at least once in a while. Like we recently came out of a Q4 video with myself and two other guys that are pretty big in the kind of YouTube e-commerce space, and just delivering more value to the community. Where basically it was an hour-long mastermind call, just talking about all the things happening in Q4 and things like that. So it's nice to be part of something like that. And I encourage, like, whatever step of the process you're in, like, find something that you can do with people that are on the same path as you, as well as where you want to go.
Terrific. Well, thank you for the concise answer. I know I kind of deceived you a little bit there, but I swear I'm obsessed with finishing the set. All right. So that's all the time we've got, Peter. I want to thank you very much for your time and your value and your insight. I look forward to talking to you again. And so hopefully we'll be able to set that up down the line.
Absolutely. I hope I could have shed some insight for everybody listening.
I think so. And last but not least, how do people reach out to you?
Literally, you can go to YouTube, Ecommerce Empire Builders. You can check us out there, or just ecommerceempirebuilders.com or peterprue.com. Both will take you to the same.
Okay, terrific. All right, everybody. Hope you guys take care, stay safe, and we'll check in soon. Thanks for listening. You might have found this show on any number of platforms: Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Play, Stitcher, or right here on Debutify. Whatever the case, if you enjoyed this content and want to help us thrive, please take a few moments to leave a review on Apple Podcasts or wherever you think is best. We also want to hear from you, so whether you think you'd be a good guest or want to weigh in on anything related to our show, you can email podcast@debutify.com or connect with us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Finally, this podcast is created by the passionate team at Debutify. If you're ready to take the plunge into e-commerce or are looking to up your game, head over to Debutify.com and see how it can change your life and the lives of many through what you do next.